All right, everyone. I'm going ahead to call this meeting to order. We're going to start with Dane for roll call.
Roll call. Chief Justice Peters. Senator Hebb. Senator Orgiaco. Senator Coburn. Senator Andrews. Senator Adam. Senator Bevel. Senator Page. Senator Okafor. Senator Meyer. Senator Kirkby.
Here.
Senator Campbell. Senator Crispley. Senator Kelly. Senator Parchman.
Here.
Senator Francis. Senator Arcienko. Senator Barnes. Senator Young. Senator Chidima Obiora. Senator Chioma Obiora. Senator George. Senator Lopez. Senator Desharla. Senator Villalobos. Senator Gomez. Senator Stefanski. Senator Ontiveros. Senator Scott. Senator Lubale. Senator White.
Okay, we have met quorum. Now on to approval of minutes. Just so everyone knows, if you are not sworn into our Senate, you are not allowed to vote. I did send these out with the agenda in the email, but I'll go through them really quickly for everyone. Okay. If you approve the minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, if you oppose this week's minutes, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okay, last week's minutes have passed. Now on to open forum. Is anyone here for open forum? James, you can go ahead. You're muted. James, you're muted.
Okay, great. I thought I just wasn't saying anything interesting, but I was muted. So, but thank you, President Schwartz. Thank you, guys. And President, you can tell me if I'm close to 5 minutes so I don't exceed it, or just feel free to interrupt me. But thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is James Hescock. I'm an alumnus of UT Tyler. And last semester, I published a newsletter called the Patriot Weekly, where I covered events and news at the university I thought would be important to students. Well, I was a student back in 2016, and I got involved in campus, and I saw that there was an information gap I felt existed between the central decision-making power or decision-making events happening on campus, like with student government or with student success, And a lot of other people like me who were commuter students, it was just hard for me to kind of keep up. And so I got involved and I eventually launched the newsletter. But I've been watching campus, if you want to call it activism. It's not a great word, but just people trying to do things for the sake of their housing unit or for their student organization, or I've been watching student government ever since 2016. So that's a long time. But over the years, I saw that it was difficult for me to learn the university environment as a governing structure. I didn't know how that place worked. I knew that there were faculty and then there was some staff, but how people made decisions and how people were able to decide on what people could do or not do, or whether they were going to change the policy to mow the grass on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, or how would you get students to be able to participate in these kind of decisions about student fees or tuition or anything that went on. It was difficult for me to learn how that actually worked. But over the years, I learned by watching how the university functions, how it governs itself, and most importantly, how students can participate in the decision making about university policy. And so in the spring, I published a newsletter, but this semester, I'm not doing that this semester. Instead, I decided that after watching over the years, that it would be important for me to go ahead and put this insights that I've gotten through experience down so that other people can know how the university governance works, so that students can get some insight into how the decision making happens and how they can participate in the governance structure. So this semester, I've developed a presentation and some curriculum that just hopefully orients people like you and any other student to how the university governs itself. What does shared governance mean? What are the laws? What is student government? How does it relate to faculty, senate, and all these other things, so that I hope that students like you and anyone else can understand how to actually participate in the decision-making process. And so I wanted to come to you today because I've been writing this stuff up. That's why I've not been publishing the newsletter, but I'm now ready to share it with you. And so if you're a student who wants to make a difference on campus, if you have a cause that matters to you, whether it's student housing, the cafeteria menu, whether it's student fees or anything else, and you want to know how you can see your cause prevail and how you can get support for that so that you can actually see that policy come to pass or that change come to pass, then I want to help you know how to do that. Whatever your background is, whatever your point of view, I would like to help you do that. So I haven't completely finished it, but I just want to let you know that if you have a student group who wants to know how they can participate in the governance process, or if you're a student senator and any other person as well, I'm going to send you an email to the student government. And if you're interested in me coming to speak to you, or you'd like to see the curriculum in writing, or you'd like to know more information about what it's about, then I'd love to talk to you about it. We'll talk about shared governance. We'll talk about faculty and staff and how they relate to students. And then also how you can be effective as an advocate for your cause, that you can put things down on your resume as real accomplishments, and how you can make a difference for the things that matter most to you. So I've got the curriculum. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. I'll send you the email. If you're interested in knowing more or like me to talk to your student group, you think that would be good for your group to know, then I'd love to hear back from you. Please feel free to reply. And I hope I can help you with the insights I've gained over the past 8 years. And so with that, I hand it back to the president. Thank you all for listening to me, and hope to see you in the future.
Thank you. Okay, is anyone else here for open forum? Seeing none, we'll move on to speaker's podium. I would like to introduce to you Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amir Mimran.
Thank you so much. And do you have the presentation? Okay. It's a pleasure for me to have an opportunity to talk to you all. I have to admit, it's not as much of a pleasure as I had last Tuesday with the midnight breakfast. So, but again, it's not that late anyway. So I wanted to update you. If you remember last year at about this time, we came in and we discussed the opportunity for us to look at the classroom scheduling for face-to-face classes and see how it would affect our parking demand, assuming that every student that comes to a face-to-face class would be driving a car and would need a parking space. So for that, we actually, if you remember, let's go to the next one. We looked at the studies that were done elsewhere, and actually, we were not the first one that done that. There were others had done this study and looked at how to optimize the parking demand throughout the day by scheduling the classes so that we make sure that as part of the scheduling, we would want to make sure that the faculty member is able to teach the class. The student would not have overlapping classes. The student, if they are working either in the morning or in the evening, they would be able to take the classes, but at the same time, we minimize the impact on the parking demands, especially because, as we discussed with the SGA at the time, the idea was that, yes, we can probably convert a lot of green space to parking, but is that really what we want? It's not about the cost, it's about the campus and how beautiful the campus is and whether or not we want to increase the parking if there are ways for us to, at least for the next few years, address that. So looking at this, what we did, look in the next one, we would, what we came up with was that let us look at some options. And the options that we looked at was, is it a good idea for us to do Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday? Is it a good idea for us to increase the evening classes as opposed to day classes and so forth, and hybrid courses that are maybe, I would have a class that is virtual on Monday and then in person on Wednesday and so forth. So we looked at different options, but really with the committee we had, which included the representative from SGA, some faculty members from different colleges, at the end of the day, we said the best thing would be to remove the blocks that we had on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:50 to try to have more classes distributed through the day. And then based on the study that we did, we thought that it would be better for us to see if there is a way we can distribute these classes, especially in the evening. And we wanted to get some feedback both for part-time students as well as those services that we provide to the students, such as the tutoring and so forth, and advising, and also faculty research and how it would affect everything. So now I have the graphs that I can show you. This is a very complicated graph, but basically there are data for number of students in face-to-face classes. So if I have a class between 9 and 10, I would show up there. And 9 and 10 on Monday. So there were 5 graphs, Monday, Tuesday through Friday. And the solid lines are for this year, this fall, and the dashed lines are for last fall. And basically what it means is that if my class is from, let's say, 9 to 10:30, I would show up as face-to-face, both in 9 to 10 and 10 to 11. And of course, that would be a way for us to figure out how many potential parking space demand we need. So as you look at it, you would see that the numbers did not really go down. If anything, despite the fact that we encourage each and every one of the department chairs and different faculty members to work on the classes and distribute it more evenly, we see a shift. The peak went from earlier morning to closer to noon, but the peak did not go down. So we said, let us look at the details college by college. Is this the same thing for every college? If you look at the next one, it happens to be in the College of Arts and Sciences, which has a variety of different departments, core classes and everything. And as we looked at that, we saw that the peak, which was for Wednesday and I believe Wednesday and Friday, and actually even Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the peak was about 2,000, right around, I want to say maybe 9 to 10 o'clock around that time, or 10 to 11. And it shifted, but it also reduced it by 10%. So this showed us that, number one, it can be done. And number two, when we discussed this with the faculty and some of the students in those in those departments, we saw that they were not impacted by the class scheduling. It's not that, okay, now my class is overlapping another class and so forth. So they were able to do this, so it can be done. Then we said, okay, we looked at all other colleges that were not able to bring it down, and we thought that how would we be able to modify this? So we looked at two other things, mid-sized classes and large classes. This is the mid-sized classes. Mid-sized classes, we say a class that is between 50 and 99 students. So you see that if you remember, the peak that we had was about 3,000. So at the worst case, we have about 3,000 students in between, let's say, around noontime on campus in classes. If you look at this, you would see about 700 to 800, let's say about 750 of them are in classes between 50 and 90. If you go to the next one, which are very large classes, over 100, you see the same thing, about 600 to 700. Again, that would be that. So what we have strategized is that, number one, we learned from arts and sciences that it can be done. Number two, we are learning that rather than trying to do every class, whether it's a class of 10 or class of 20, if we just focus on large size classes, we can make it happen. So what we are doing is that now we're going back to the department chairs and the college dean and basically saying that let us focus on the large classes. And if we can make, like, for example, this suggests that on Friday, we have 6 classes that are 100 or more. And the same, so if those 6 classes, 3 of them are in the morning and 3 of them are in the afternoon, all of a sudden that would drop down by 300, which is more than 10% of what we have already. So that means if we focus on just large classes, we can accomplish this without making a very, very difficult task, either for the faculty or for the chairs. And the next one is sort of summarizing this. So we know that the concept works, but as part of the dilemma that we had, we were thinking about, do we need to decentralize? Right now, we have a decentralized model of scheduling. That means every department does its own scheduling. Rather than trying to do that and essentially come up with a strategy that would say, let us change everything to the main administration or the central office and schedule everything, and then we're going to run into additional problems that maybe your math class would overlap maybe another class that you have in your own major, and that would create a lot of additional problem. We thought that all we need to do is focus on large classes, and that would accomplish what we want. The last thing I would say is that we hope that we get feedback from you. So both now at any time, either through your president or directly, feel free to stop by my office, email or call at any point in time and tell me if you have had any issue, or if you feel that there would be any issue by trying to, again, moving some of these large classes throughout the day so that we would reduce the demand that we have. One last thing I would say on the parking demand is that this semester, at least anecdotally, I didn't hear any complaint from the students or the faculty in terms of finding parking space as much as we had last year. But again, that may just be because we moved it toward the noontime. So maybe it was not as bad early in the morning. But at the same time, as I said, we can still do a lot better. So I pause there. If there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Any questions? Please raise your hand if you have questions.
Senator Lopez. And so when it came to the students that you kind of used for y'all's data points, I know you mentioned part-time students, but did you guys also take into like consideration the commuter students? Because I know sometimes the parking situation could be, because I've heard that some commuter students leave their cars parked there because they have like one class early in the morning and they don't have another class till maybe 5. And so that does take up a parking space.
You're absolutely right. Unfortunately, what we are doing is solely based on class registration. So in other words, it's not based on, because we know let's say if I have a class from 9 to 10, it doesn't mean that at 10 I'm going to leave, because I may be going to get some assistance for tutoring or some. In fact, one of the things that I know we did was try to, along the same line, decentralize the tutoring so that right after your class or before the class where you are having your class, rather than having to go to the fourth floor of the library. But we know that the end of my class, even if I don't have any class at that time, it doesn't suggest that I'm going to leave campus. Especially if I'm a commuter student, I'm not going to go and then come back for another class in the afternoon. Unfortunately, this data is only based on how many students are taking this class from this time and this time, and it doesn't suggest that would be like looking at student by student. That's a very good point. Unfortunately, we don't have that data to be able to do that. So this is sort of an estimate. Speaking of decentralized tutoring, if there are any assistant, and I have already talked to SGA president, if there is anything that we can do to assist, because we want to make sure that, again, we don't create additional burden for the students. We want to make sure tutoring is coming to you rather than you having to go somewhere else for tutoring. We want to definitely hear from you. And if there's anything we can do, we'd love to do that.
Hi, Senator Kelly. So when you're spreading out these large classes, like for example, when you said you have 600 or not, you have 600 students total, but you have 600 students in one class, are you spreading them across like different buildings across campus to kind of reduce the level of parking in one parking lot?
That's another good point, because we did look at basically three things. One was overall campus. One was by college, which I showed you one example, and I didn't show you every building, but we also looked at what is the course or class distribution in different buildings. So this actually, given the fact that the number of classes that we have that are 100 or more are actually going to be very limited, by doing that, we're actually improving it for every building. So that means that this, even though not intentionally we're going to say it, let's do it for every building, but by doing that, by moving it, we would essentially have fewer classes, large classes in the same building at any time.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, Dr. Moran. We appreciate you coming and
appreciate it.
speaking to us. Thank you. Okay, moving on to officer reports. So what I did this week, I had several meetings, but my biggest kind of topic was tutoring and alongside parking. I met with Dr. Moran and we talked about doing a hybrid between centralized and decentralized tutoring and kind of trying to merge the two together to get the best of both worlds. So that's something we're working on. I also talked to Stephanie Finter and Daniel Delot about this a little bit. So other than that, that's been my main two topics of discussion with everyone. So yeah. Vice President Romero is sick today, so we are going to move on to Secretary Adams.
Secretary Adams, this past week, I've just been posting and updating about the Midnight Breakfast event you may all be aware of. And we did pretty good with that. We had great interaction with the posts. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all that's coming with that.
Treasurer Mercado, I was out all last week due to an injury, so I do not have any reports besides sending out emails.
Chief of Staff Richardson, just we're all in a little bit of recovery mode. I know from Midnight Breakfast that definitely took a hit on the sleep schedule for I think everybody, but I think it went really well and we're all pretty happy that it was a big success of an event. As your Chief of Staff, I do want to add one little reminder on for discussions, which we're going to do in new business here. There is a 10-minute limit on discussion just to make sure that things don't run forever. However, if we feel like a discussion needs more than 10 minutes, at the 10-minute mark, we can always vote to add more time. Just want to give you all a heads up. I will be timing that just so we can keep an orderly meeting and keep things running pretty smooth. But like I said, if there's more discussion time needed, we can always get more of that. So just a heads up.
Thank you, Chief of Staff Richardson. We're gonna move on to committee reports. Events did not meet last week due to midnight breakfast, so moving on to communications.
All right, yeah. Communications Committee has done quite a bit the past 2 weeks. Last week we actually voted on the plan for the newsletter. So instead of a month-to-month newsletter, we voted to have a semester newsletter. That way, instead of having like uneven monthly newsletters, it's all one semester and gives a lot of insight to the semester and all the events we did. Also, moving into this week, we gave all the ideas that are going to be in that newsletter, as well as going over the social media content that's going to be posted throughout the next 3 weeks over our upcoming service events. And yeah, as for SGAC, I did share that, and I'm going to pass it to Senator Kelly.
Thank you. As part of SJC, we saw the American Society of Mechanical Engineers at the Houston Engineering Campus, and we approved their event for general meeting guest speaker on November 4th, 2024, for a total of $496.33.
Chief of Staff Richardson, rules did not meet last week due to midnight breakfast being on that day.
ESC.
Yeah, we met last week. We were just discussing Arbor Day. Also, thank you for all those who came out. I know Bonnie was really excited with the turnout and we planted a lot of trees. So yeah, thank you for all that. And then we're gonna start working on the spring event as well. So
Sounds great. Thank you. Moving on to student voice reports, we're going to start with the School of Nursing.
Senator Okafor, so me and Senator Page met with Dr. Haas, the dean, and Dr. Chilton on October 23rd, and we discussed the 3Ps course, which is basically kind of a change to the course catalog. It'll be including patho, pharmacology, and health assessments, and it would kind of be giving patho context to an integrated pathway of including pharmacology so that students are more adapt into going into, per se, the new levels, quote unquote. And then we also discussed flight nursing as an option in level 4. We talked about a teach out plan that may be happening in the fall. And an update to Library 401, we won't be having the exams scheduled in the library anymore. And the problems that were happening, was it last month? With the overbooking aren't happening anymore. And then we talked about the spring welcome breakfast, how we want to basically have a welcome breakfast this spring because we'll be starting super early, kind of giving students initiative and making them very prepared to start the semester ahead. We also talked about the mass simulation, and Dr. Haas reached out to faculty, and they are very receptive to the idea. We also talked about final bags and how I'm going to talk in events committees about reaching out to NSNA. And they wanted a common area for location. So specifically talking to the events committee about how we can put the final bags in the nursing building for them.
Okay, thank you, School of Nursing. Now moving on to Fish College of Pharmacy.
yes, hello, Senator Kirkby. I met with the dean. Well, our dean has stepped down, so we're currently in the process of looking for another dean. So we have an interim dean currently. So I've been talking with her. She's just trying to get everything settled back on track. We're just kind of resuming the same events that we kind of did last year. We're still recruiting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So.
Thank you, Fish College of Pharmacy. Moving on to Souls College of Business.
Senator Kelly, I've met with the department chairs with HRD, computer science and accounting, finance and business law. They've expressed a few concerns about the new website, integrating their old stuff and formatting and having marketing approve all that. And also what will potentially replace the old Starbucks on the first floor of the business building. Also, we met with Secretary Adams, and when I say we, I mean Senator Campbell and Senator Crisply and I. We met with Secretary Adams, Chief of Staff Richardson, to discuss transfer senatorship and how to reach students in college business. And I'll pass it to Senator Campbell.
Hello, everybody. Senator Campbell here. Me, Senator Kelly, Senator Crisply, Adams, and Richardson. We met with Dean Swinburg, and he kind of talked to us about what he has planned for the College of Business and the fourth floor, and hopefully getting some things put up there. So good things. And he also suggested an event for College of Business students and an opportunity so that like a come and go where he sits in the lobby so everyone can kind of chit chat with him. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, College of Business. Moving on to old business. Does anyone have anything to add for old business? Seeing none, we will move on to new business. I entertain a motion to open the Athletic Director Committee special election. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of background on what we're doing, leadership asked me a few weeks ago to have SGA vote on student athlete representatives for the athletic director search. So they will be conducting a search for a new athletic director in the coming weeks and months. So they do want student athlete representatives on the committee. So they wanted us to have a little bit of a student voice, as we should, and us vote on it. So I am going to start with Samantha Schott. She sent us a video because she has practice. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you.
Hi, my name is Sam Schott, and I'm a senior on the softball team here. Just a little about me and why I want to be a part of this committee. My story starts, I came here freshman year, and I'm a senior now, so I've been here all 4 years. The softball team, since I've been here, has experienced many successes, and obviously the national championship we won last year. That was awesome, not just for us, but for our school pride, for our community, East Texas community. But what we always say is that that accomplishment wasn't just done by us. We had so much help from the university, the encouragement, the support, and also the athletic program in general. Athletes need to support athletes at our school. I think we can all agree that UT Tyler is a growing school, so having a strong athletic department is key for that, and that starts with leadership and having a strong leader that is just pouring into us athletes and just student engagement in general. With what Dr. Philly's doing, I think we need a leader behind her that's supporting what she's doing, and I love everything that she stands for and what she's trying to do with the athletic program, just bringing in more student involvement, not just athletes supporting athletes, but fellow students supporting athletes. And I think that's a big move that she's trying to push for, and we need a leader that is also for that and understands the importance of that for us athletes. We can all speak for. We love having a large crowd showing up, being into the game. That really is a game changer, and especially with us being a part of the Lone Star Conference, just that's such a competitive conference in general, with many ranked teams across all sports. So, and another piece about me is I'm also an East Texas native. I grew up in Longview, so sister city of Tyler. We don't just need somebody who is for the athletic program. We need somebody who is for our community. The East Texas community is a tight-knit community, and athletics can bring so much to that community. It's just a vibrant environment, and so we need somebody to not just support athletics, but support our community, promote community involvement for our athletes. Thank you. Hi, my name is Sam Schott, and I'm a senior.
Okay, so since she is not here, the floor will not open up for questions, but I want to invite Brooklyn Robinson down to give her speech.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Brooklyn Robinson. I'm technically a fifth-year senior on the women's soccer team here. I'm also captain. I've been here for a long time. This is my 5th year, so I've been here since my freshman year in 2020. I think it's super important to be able to, get different perspectives for figuring out who's going to be the new athletic director. Student athletes and non-athletes. Like I said, I've been here for a long time, so I was able to experience us transitioning from D3 to D2. So my first year here was the first time we were able to actually compete D2. And a lot has happened since then. It went by fast, but it's been a long time. And so I've kind of been able to experience our growth and see that growth, and I'm excited to continue seeing what we can become. I know that like Samantha mentioned, Dr. Philly has a lot of cool plans, and just like telling the freshmen now, like I always tell them how much more we get to do and how many things, how much things have developed. I know the stuff that we've done this year, like the basketball pep rally thing we just had was super fun. And so I think that engagement is super important to kind of bring athletes and students together and support each other. And like also she said, the engagement at games and stuff is also super fun. It helps build the community and bring people in, So yeah, I've just been able to be here through us adapting to the change. And I think that as UT Tyler grows, I think it's really important to continue to connect with the community and each other and continue to promote that and build it up. And so I think finding the right person for that is super important. And I'm excited to hopefully be a part of that.
Thank you, Brooklyn. The floor will open up for questions if they do have any. So does anyone have any questions for Brooklyn? None? Okay, thank you so much. So I am gonna go ahead and go next. So I'm Allison Schwartz. I'm a communications sciences and disorders major with a minor in psychology. It is a pretty small major, so I'm a part of the initial group for that. We're a student org on campus. We table at midnight breakfast and do things like that. Obviously student government president. I'm also president of SAC, which is Student Athletic Advisory Committee. We vote on legislation that happens within the LSC, and I think we do some really important work and community service within that group as well. I want to be on this committee because I feel like in order to have a successful athletic director and athletics program, community outreach and student engagement is really a key part of the job. And I think that's something that we haven't always seen in the athletic directors, and I think we have a great opportunity to grow and use this to our advantage. I think somebody that supports our athletes in the best way possible. I know athletes are very grateful for what we have and what we get, and we do understand that we do have perks to being student athletes, but at the same time, we are representing our college, and we're very proud to do that. The athletic director search is going to be very unique. We haven't had one for 20 plus years, so it's something that hasn't been seen really at the school before. So I think having a foundation for somebody that is going to really get student engagement up, have events for students, and bring everyone into the athletic community is going to be a really big opportunity for us. So thank you. Any questions? No? Okay. Next, I'm going to bring up Raleigh Hector.
Hi, my name is Raleigh Hector. I'm a senior marketing major that also plays baseball here. And man, I've had a wild ride to get to UT Tyler. I've been in the transfer portal 2 times, started off my baseball career at Texas A&M University down in College Station, and then made my way down to Louisiana Tech to where now I am here at UT Tyler. And man, I found a home. And I think that's the biggest thing, is the reason why I want to be on this committee, is I've seen the big SEC powerhouse school. I've seen what they do to run their athletic department. I've seen a mid-major, and I see what we can do here. And I think there's no secrets as to why, you know, soccer is killing the game right now, and volleyball is just going crazy, and like all the student engagement we've seen has just been through the roof. And I think that's something we really need to prioritize in this athletic department, and something for the athletic director. My dad is a coach as well, so I've been in the coaching realm for a long time and understand what it takes to have a successful athletic director and what it looks like for a school. And nothing more than I enjoy seeing packed stands and seeing you guys come to our games, and it motivates us. We get a really cool experience as student athletes. We get to go all over the state and to even other states to, you know, represent UT Tyler, and having a strong leader. Dr. Philly's done a fantastic job early on, and we just feel like if we have a great leader in the athletic department, it's going to be just like two birds with one stone, man. We're going to really do some really awesome things in the Lone Star Conference, and you know, the growth that UT Tyler's having, it's just exponential. We got a chance to really take over Lone Star and be the face of Lone Star Conference, and I think that starts with great leadership. And I see myself, you know, coaching baseball here at UT Tyler. That's how much of a place I find home. So just continuing to find the right leader for us, and making sure that, you know, we continue to hit the ground running and no stopping. So yeah.
Any questions? Thank you.
Last but not least, I'm going to invite Ryan Swan up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Swan. I'm a senior here, and I play on the UT Tyler men's basketball team. A little bit about me is I'm from Casper, Wyoming, and for those of you that don't know, picture Texas, but with less Whataburgers. So pretty much the same demographically and geographically, but my journey here has also been a little bit different. I played at a JUCO in Wyoming for 2 years. It was Eastern Wyoming College. So this is my second year here at UT Tyler. And similar to what you were saying, like, you know, I take great pride in playing as a Patriot and wearing the eagle on the front of my jersey, because it's something that I valued throughout my entire athletic career. And, you know, just in my experience here at UT Tyler, you know, from even last year to this year, I mean, there's been huge change in student engagement. And I think a lot of that has been brought on by Dr. Philly and what she's trying to do. And I also believe that that is something that is incredibly important, not only to athletics, but to the growth of a university as well. Just getting people in the stands, getting people cheering. I know as an athlete, it is an incredible feeling to look out in the crowd, you know, hit a three and see people screaming and yelling. Like, you know, there's nothing better than that. But the reason I want to be on this committee is because, you know, I think it will be very important to elect a athletic director that wishes to continue these efforts that are currently being done under Dr. Philly to drive student engagement and the growth of the university, both athletically and academically. And personally, on a personal note, I want to be a part of this committee because since it's my last year, I think it would be, you know, a great honor to, you know, be a part of the selection process of somebody that's going to impact the lives of athletes and students that come after me. So thank you, guys.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none. I do just want to clarify that we should vote with a free mind and take everybody into consideration and make sure that we're having good discussion when we do exit the room. We are choosing one male and one female, so that will be the premise to vote on. So I'm going to hand this meeting over to Dane while all of the candidates step out and give you time to discuss. Thank you, guys.
Entertain a motion to open discussion on the athletic director committee special election. Perfect. Okay, I just want to give this time for all of us to speak on the candidates we got to see today. So if there is any points of discussion, please go ahead.
Senator Okafor, is there a way we can see all their names and faces? Because, yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
So no.
Yeah, I did. I did ask Allie to send me the names. And she said.
I can't remember the sport. I just can't remember. I got the sport out of the face.
Won't buy sports.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's a good idea. For clarification, we'll speak on candidates and precedents of order. So, and then Senator Sitlali.
Senator Lopez, oh God, okay. Sorry about that. This is a dumb question, but what exactly are we voting for?
That's another thing. Yes. For those on Zoom, we're voting for those that are on the search committee for this director. Senator Mercado.
Treasurer Mercado. So just to also clarify, so it's kind of like the best way I can describe it in my head is when a dean leaves, there's a search committee to find a new dean. And usually there's always student representation in that committee. So we're voting on one female and one male to be on that search committee for the athletic director. I forgot what it was called. So is there any other questions regarding that? So I can clarify.
Senator Adam, so the four candidates will be the two guys, which will be the basketball and the softball, and Ali and, okay, great. So I think, because we have four. Five? Who's the fifth? Oh, she's still with us? That's bad. So they left. So how that works? Okay. But we need like more information about them or what they will do for the position so we can vote on that. We can decide now, I think.
Oh, it's gonna keep moving. Unless you want to see something.
Is it like a general consensus that we are wanting more information on the candidates? Yes. Okay. Are we able to bring them back? Yeah. That'd be. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Some other points. Here you go.
I understand we still need. Okay.
At least in my opinion, a lot of them had the same ideas on a lot of issues, but at least two that stood out to me were the guy from the baseball team who did come in from an SEC school. He's seen how it's worked in D1, how it could help to work here in D2. And then the girl from the soccer team, she was here when we switched from D3 to D2. So while I think a lot of people, like they had a lot of the same ideas, those two kind of stood out to me in those two senses, at least to where they could add to the program.
Okay. Who else?
Hi, Senator Kelly. I also want to voice my support for the person for baseball because I thought the coaching perspective was unique and also that they've been at different schools and seen how coaching works and everything, and especially in such a rigorous and competitive conference. And for the girl, I don't know. So I'll let somebody else speak on that.
Senator Lubale, I
agree with what Senator Kelly and Senator Scott were saying. I still feel like while we may have, a few of us may have more questions, I feel like we should think back to what each student was saying that they had envisioned for what they want out of an athletic director who's had the most experience here. Like I don't want to call them super seniors, but what is it? What is the term? Super seniors that have been at UT Tyler for 4+ years and have seen UT Tyler change from when we were in COVID to now we're shifting into, like they were saying, more student engagement. So I feel like when we're thinking about who we're going to vote for, I feel like that's an integral part that we need to focus on as well. They've seen UT Tyler do the different phrases, and yes, I feel like that's important.
Any other questions? Points of discussion? Yes.
I motion to vote on the male representative. Or do we need to? Why would we bring them back into vote? They're normally.
So we're now voting on no. So how do you want me to distinguish the two? Yeah, which one was one, which one was two? Speaker number one. Yes. Male speaker. Or speaker number two. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, so we're gonna. Yes, so we're gonna be, we had a motion to vote on the male representative. The first being the baseball representative. Yeah. And the second one being the basketball representative. All those in favor of the first representative. All those in favor of the second representative. Okay. All right, seeing that, we, the first representative, any abstentions? Yeah. All right, seeing that, the first representative was selected. Is there any other points of concern? Yes.
I think considering with the female representative as well, I think it's important to take into account, like I know like it might seem a little biased towards President Schwartz because like we've all seen what a great leader she is, but also she has and clearly has a lot of experience on the inside with like the people who are actually involved as well as the sport. So I think for me that definitely weighs heavy on my vote personally. Thank you.
Yep. You sure? Okay. Anything else? Yeah, you want a motion?
I have nothing further. Senator Andrews, I'd like to make a motion to vote on the female candidate.
Okay, so there was a motion to vote on the female candidate. How are you going to distinguish that? The same way, off precedent, the first being softball, the second being the soccer representative, and the third being. Very sorry. Yes, so the first representative for the females was softball, second representative was soccer, and the third representative was tennis. We will now take to a vote. All those in favor of candidate one. All those in favor of candidate two. All right, all those in favor of candidate three. All right, any abstentions? Okay. All right, seeing that, candidate two was selected. All right. Anyone want a motion? Yes. Right. Thank y'all so much for working with me on that. Okay.
Congratulations, you guys. Okay, I entertain a motion to close athletic director committee special elections. Okay, that was carried and seconded. I entertain a motion to open judicial board special elections. Okay, so we are inputting our J board. I have nominated 3 people, so they are all here tonight. First, I am going to let Sarah Sharif do her speech.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. Sorry I couldn't be here tonight. I have another meeting that's kind of close to this one. But a little bit about me. I'm a political science and pre-law major here at UT Tyler. I'm currently a junior, and I used to be a senator for the sophomore body at large last year. And it was a really fun experience for me. It was a great opportunity to be involved in something that I haven't been involved with before. And it's really refreshing to be around people who do want to make a change and want to make an impact in the school and improving the environment. But I'm definitely glad that I had that experience. I was able to connect with people that I wouldn't have been able to connect with otherwise. And some other things about me is that I'm an honors student and I've also been a tour guide for a year now. I really enjoy my job as a tour guide. It's so fun to be part of the decision process of potential students. And I kind of like swaying them into joining UT Tyler with the benefits, obviously. But I love that. I love seeing them on campus after like trying to persuade them and being like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. But yeah, like I said, I love the experience of student government. So I would like to be a justice because I would like to make sure our actions align with the student government constitution. And I'm open and committed to working with the Chief Justice Soren if any issues arise or just to make sure everything's in line and in check. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Sarah?
Senator White here. Can we explain what we are voting for? Because I'm still new and I don't quite understand this.
Yeah, absolutely. So judicial board handles things like, say you have 2 unexcused absences, we can take you to J board and basically they vote on not your fate, but kind of whether or not you're upholding your duties as a senator, and they vote on things like that. So they take a look at more of the kind of integrity side of things and make sure that we're all fulfilling our duties, including myself as people on the Senate. Josh. Better explanation than mine. Thank you, Josh. Any other questions?
Yes. No, it's not.
It's on.
Yes, I do have a question. A question for the candidate. Secretary Adams, my question is, what made you want to run for this position specifically over anything else in student government?
Yeah. So I already experienced being the role of being a senator, and I enjoyed it and I wanted to try something new, you know? And when I found out that a role for justice is open, I wanted to still be a part of SGA, but kind of have a different path and see how this works out for me. I like trying new things out, and I really enjoy being part of a community. So when I found out that this position's opened up, I was like, why not try something new, um, while still doing what I like, if that answers your question.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Hi, Senator Bell here. Have you ever had, do you have any experience passing the final judgment on an individual in that capacity?
Did you hear what he said?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I actually have not. This is a first for me. That's why, like I said, I do want to try something new and see how it works out. And I'm open to trying new things. That's how you start. And this is just my start, and I'm excited to hopefully progress.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate it. Next up, I'm gonna invite Andrea Valdez up to the front to give her speech.
Hi, everyone. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's quiet. Can everyone hear me? Okay, hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Valdez, and I am a junior here. I'm studying political science. My minor, is Spanish and pre-law, so it's pretty similar to Sarah's. But I also was a senator last semester. I was the junior year representative, same thing as Sarah's. But basically, a little bit about me. I run a nonprofit. I started a nonprofit. It's called East Texas Monarchs. And so it's very time consuming. That's why I wasn't able to do student government this semester. I've also been part of SGA whenever I was at TJC. I was vice president, a freshman vice president. And then I was also an patch chief, which is an orientation leader. So I've had experience with dealing with people. Also, I was in the appeals committee last semester, or the semester that I was doing SGA. What else? I am very involved on campus, or not on campus, outside of school when it comes to anything with, I guess, like law. I'm part of the East Texas Bar Association. I intern for them, so I go to events and I help out with organizing them and just kind of seeing whatever they need. But yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about me.
Thank you, Secretary Adams. What do you bring specifically to this role? And kind of in the same vein, why did you choose to be a justice instead of a senator or any other position this semester?
So why I chose to do this instead was because, like I said, like this is also very time consuming, and I just don't think that I would be able to put like 100% on here. And I know like justices aren't on the job like 24/7 like you guys are. And so like I still want to do something, but like being a senator, I can't, like, with the time management, and like being a justice, I think it's more flexible with my schedule, and I would be able to like do what I'm supposed to and not like, back down or anything like that. I feel like if I know ahead of time, like, okay, we have to do this, or, I can prioritize that and put it in my schedule. And another reason why I wanted to do this is, like I said, I wanted to be involved. But yeah.
Thank you.
What was the committee you said you were in last year?
Appeals committee?
Can you talk a little bit more about that committee and how you think that will correspond to this?
So essentially what appeals committee is whenever someone like drops a class or something like that, and they want to get like money back. So then you get to read like the whole story and like why they dropped the class, or, the whole reasoning why, that happened. And we in the committee decide if, they get approved or not. And so I don't know if that really answers your question. But yeah, just take into consideration everything that happened that semester to see if they will get approved or not. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, next I'm gonna welcome Maggie Manning up to the front.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing good. My name is Maggie Manning, and I'm a senior biochemistry major, and I have loved being involved in student government. I've been involved since my freshman year. I've been here all 4 years. And I started my freshman year, I was an orientation and swoop camp leader. And I loved instilling in my own freshmen the values of traditions that the school stands for. And I found my home and my community here, even though I'm from East Texas, I'm from Liberty City, which is near Longview. And so I really loved this community and bringing people from all over and just seeing how everyone met in Tyler, Texas, and everywhere that everyone would go. And I loved instilling those potential values of traditions in my students. And that led me to the midnight breakfast. And I was like, oh, I'm going to volunteer, but I can't volunteer because I'm not a senator. But they luckily let me on. And so I ended up volunteering and really falling in love with the traditions that student government stands for, that it actually stands for the everyday student, no matter what your situation is. And I believe that I would be that voice that other people couldn't have. And so I ended up being an SGA, and in my sophomore year, I ran for the College of Arts and Sciences Senator, and I was involved with 3 committees, and I was involved with the Events Committee, the Rose City Scholar Committee, as well as the Communications Committee. And I loved these boards and what all they stood for hosting the Midnight Breakfast, putting something together that brought so many people from all over of different walks of life together. I also love communicating along with on the social media platforms and bringing people informed information in a timely manner. And I also enjoyed seeing how my Tyler government worked and how that plugs into even like the local, state, and federal run governments. And so that led with my degree in biochemistry that it got really difficult. And so I had to switch to being a justice. So I was a justice last year. And I think that's the biggest thing of why I came back for hopefully my senior year to be justice again, is that I love supporting y'all. And that's why I came here, was to be with the faculty and staff and supporting them. And I see how much y'all do for them. And I want to be able to support you along with the Constitution. And I understand we have busy lives. And so I hope to be a voice and a part for what you do for students, but as well for you. So thank you so much.
Any questions? No? Okay, thank you. I am gonna ask you guys to step out while we discuss, and I'm going to put, Sarah, I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Okay. Perfect. There's 4 more open.
So wait.
There's 4 spots open. Yes.
Senator Page, I'm just clarifying that whenever we do decide to vote, I would suggest we go person by person.
That's
in
what I
the
was gonna do.
Affirmative and in the negative.
Yep. Yep, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, so it's fair and equal.
Other than that, I like all the candidates. So I've worked with Sarah previously, so Sarah's pretty cool.
What was your question? Yeah, so there's 4 open spots and 3 nominees. So Soren?
Just yeah, I just want to say, I've gotten to know all 3 of them. Oh, Chief Justice Peters. I've gotten to know all 3 of them throughout my time in SGA. They've all served SGA in some way, and they've all been great, productive members. And just, I think they're fit for the role, and I'd love to see them on the judicial board. And yeah.
Thank you, Chief Justice Peters.
Senator Lopez, I also agree with Chief Justice Peters that these 3 candidates are really strong candidates for each of the positions. With Sarah, I see that she has a very agreeable personality, which can also pretty much walk well with sometimes I feel like people will probably, when they go up to judicial review, will probably be kind of scared considering like what judicial review is doing. So I feel like her personality would be good to help soothe people's worries a bit, or at least soften the blow if it's a harsh blow. Or at least help give her the practice. I forgot the second candidate's name and the third one, Andrea's. Okay. Andrea, she has a very strong head on her shoulders. She had as well as also studying pre-law, so she does have that law background. And then with the third candidate, whose name Maddie, she has had practice at there, and she really sounded like she knew what she was doing.
Senator Vale, I motion to begin voting for the Judicial Board representative position. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first candidate, Sarah. All those in favor of Sarah becoming a Judicial Board member, please raise your hand. Okay. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. She will be seated into the first position. Moving on to Andrea. All those in favor of Andrea becoming a J Board senator or member, please raise your hand. Okay. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay. She will be sat in the second position. All those in favor of Maggie Manning being placed on J Board, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstention, please raise your hand. Okay, they will all be seated onto J Board. I will go get them.
Oh yeah, by the way, it's kind of a tradition when people
Thank
get
you,
voted
guys.
in. When they have
Yes,
We
please.
forgot to mention that after the last one. Sorry, y'all.
We were just struggling.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also Sarah.
Yeah, she's in.
Yeah, I just let her in. Congratulations, you guys. You've all been placed on J Board. So we will be contacting you with more information. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I entertain a motion to close Judicial Board special elections. Okay. I entertain a motion to open Senator special elections. Okay, so we have two candidates, one from College of Pharmacy and one from Student Body at Large Senior. So I'm going to go ahead and start with College of Pharmacy with Precious.
Y'all see me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Precious Otiocha. I'm a student here at UT Tyler. Let me see a little about me. I played basketball here with the basketball program while I was a biochem undergrad student. Through my time in undergrad, I challenged myself with more than 20 hours a semester while working to kind of fast track my education. So I'm currently now with UT Tyler's Ben and Mate Fish College of Pharmacy as a grad student. And I have plans on going to med school after pharmacy school because I just enjoy constant growth and challenging myself. Today I'm here before y'all for the position of the Senator of College of Pharmacy to be able to partner with Senator Kirby for the benefit of pharmacy students in general and just serve as an additional inside voice of the students at the College of Pharmacy here. Some of my current involvements include leadership positions in 3 of our orgs right now at the pharmacy school, which include APHA, that's American Pharmacists Association, SNAFA, which is our Student National Pharmaceutical Association, CPFI, which is our Christian Pharmacist Fellowship. And the main things we just do is serve the population, serve the public. Different events we have like flu clinics and events just to help people in East Texas region. And I'm aware that sharing that was probably a turn off for some of y'all, like, oh, this guy's doing a lot. Probably thinking, how am I going to manage the position of, the Senate of Pharmacy with everything I got going on and the difficulty of pharmacy school. But the odd thing that I've noticed about pharmacists and myself specifically is just that I enjoy being occupied and doing as much as I can in organizations, like as many as I can, to have a good cause, because those are skills that it's a very important skill to have in the field of healthcare, like multitasking. So it helps me develop my multitasking skills. And it's just a character development for me in addition to helping the public and people around me. So I've been there, done that, and managed a lot. And I know it's going to be an additional task, but I think I can take it on. One of the reasons why I think y'all should add me to the Student Government Association is just, I think having an additional voice for the students of the Fish College of Pharmacy would be a good way to be that bridge of communication to the graduate students, because we're a unique pharmacy school that's located on campus, but we still have minimal participation with the pharmacy students on campus because we stay in our building all day and our classes are built like that from 8 to 5. So we miss a lot of undergrad events and we hardly know about a lot of them that come up, and that's why we don't have participation. So I think just being that bridge to share information, and then in addition, I have a personal relationship with the admins and students of the school that have similar frustrations that they don't know where to address them at, like things like parking and reserved spaces, especially in our parking lot at the pharmacy building over there. It's been a big challenge, but those are things that we can discuss at another date. So I think it's important to share these concerns here at the Student Government Association. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Senator Okafor?
Senator Okafor, it's to my understanding that you were a senator last year as well.
Yes, ma'am. Senator of College of Arts and Science.
Right. Okay. So what has been your favorite thing you've done as a senator?
Last year as a senator, I was partnered with Senator Henry, who's no longer with us. She's actually at the Austin College of Pharmacy, in communications. Can y'all hear me or no?
Yes, they thought it was funny because you said no longer with us, but she is alive, so she's all good.
Oh, yeah, she's at UT Austin serving over there in their government association. But yeah, and the different events that we've had on campus have been fun to attend and be a part of, and also part of like the social media creative ideas. And when we had to create our own posters and all of that, all just being part of SGA and a family to support you was not a nice thing to be part of. So yeah.
Thank you.
Senator Okafor, so why specifically would you like to continue being a senator?
Like I said, it's very important to continue to enhance my leadership skills. I know it's just a senator position, but it's still a form of leadership, and being in a leadership position. For me, I hope to one day own a pharmacy. So these are ways that I can practice my communication skills with different interprofessional, like the different colleges in this SGA, how to talk to people, how to get things passed, how like the formality in SGA is something that's unique to me and I've never seen it. So I kind of like that. It was when I was there last year, it was weird, the whole emotion to and all those things, because I'm not used to formality like that. And I'm not the type to wear a tie either, but it's something that kind of forced me to learn how to be professional and dress moderate and things like that. So yeah.
Senator Okafor, do you remember about how many meetings you attended last year?
Honestly, I wouldn't count it. I'm be honest with you.
Okay. Are you prepared to accept the roles of senator, given that you are in a lot of commitments, and last year you weren't here as frequently?
Yeah, I know that I have a lot of commitments, but I think it's still important to have a voice for pharmacy because, like I said, we have a gap, information gap right now where we're basically like half of the students don't know anything going on campus. I'm pretty sure none of them showed up for midnight breakfast just because they didn't know. So those are some things that I feel like having me in this position would help to share those information. So yeah.
Thank you.
Senator Okafor, one more question. You've been in SGA for quite a while now, and I'm sure you're aware of how the election process works. So my question is, why specifically did you decide to do special elections and not the general population vote?
Oh, I talked to former President Dix is no longer here, so I communicated with President Schwartz now, and she told me this was the way that I had to do it because I missed the opening for the general election because we started pharmacy, we started like a week or two before everybody did, and once I got that rolling, it felt like I could take on a new challenge. I signed up, so yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
Senator, you're good. Senator Lubale, can everyone hear me? Okay. I had a question about what you said in response to Senator Okafor's question, how you wanted to basically build bridges over the gaps of like information that pharmacy students were receiving or not receiving. And I just wanted to ask, how would you plan on doing that? Like, how would you plan on making sure that there's a continuous streamline of information from whether it's SGA or whatever's going on campus to these pharmacy students?
We have a group chat right now where the pharmacy students are part of, so that will be my platform of sharing, like, for example, after this meeting, things we discussed, like parking was addressed. They're not aware of anything like that. We don't get information. So just sharing that through our group meet, our messaging chat, and I'm also in leadership positions there. So it'll almost be like I'm sharing our information plus undergrad information. So they're getting a whole UT Tyler information rather than just having like one side communication, but we're on this campus and we don't know our other benefits in terms of like where the med is and everything like that around campus. So
Senator Lubale again, I apologize. Another question that I had was in terms of streamlining that communication with pharmacy students, would you also kind of advocate for more pharmacy students to start engaging with more campus activities, campus organization, so that they, I know how you were saying earlier that y'all are kind of in the pharmacy building from 8 to 5 all day, every day, because that's how your classes are scheduled. Would you kind of advocate for them to be more involved in campus life, join any senator positions that are in SGA or any campus organizations for that matter?
yeah, I will encourage them. The thing is that as most of you guys know, the pharmacy program is tedious. So even within our campus alone, they're not really highly involved in many things. So me joining is not saying that the whole pharmacy is going to start showing up to a lot of events. That's not likely to happen. But it's just a way for like, if I start that movement, if I'm going, maybe two other pharmacy students that see a pharmacy student going can go to things like that. Or if I share it and it's like, we just finished an exam today, they have this going on campus, use that as a de-stressing method, they'll be more likely to go if these opportunities are presented to them, like games and anything on campus. And another problem that we have is that a lot of the events on campus are during the daytime, and we are in our building from 8 to 5. So we miss almost all the events anyways. But things like Saturday events like the Ratliff Relay, that would have been a nice one for a group of pharmacy students to just come and see a different perspective, like the engineers in their project and what they had going on. But a lot of people didn't even know about that. So because I know that people are going through campus and texting through group chat like, what's going on campus? Why is there so many people? Why is there so many cars? And nobody really knows what's actually happened.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the wait room while we have discussion, and I'll let you back in. Okay, guys, he is in the waiting room, so the floor is open for discussion. Does anyone have anything to add? Before.
Senator Okafor, seeing from last year and speaking to him personally and hearing about him from other people, he really didn't take his senator position seriously. He didn't attend any meetings. He didn't reach out to any students. Also, if students did reach out to him, he didn't voice those opinions because he didn't come to our meetings. And seeing how he's in a lot of commitments right now, although he might have changed, he did also fail to register for elections last semester, which shows how he feels really about being a senator and how serious he is. Although he may have had a change of heart, I don't think this position is well fit for him.
Any other discussion? Yes. Senator Andrews or Senator Page?
Senator Page, to my knowledge, the only other college pharmacy senator right now is Senator Kirkby, and I don't believe Senator Kirkby is on campus currently.
No.
So I think having a on-campus senator would be excellent, no matter really what we would just have to see.
Senator Andrews.
Okay, Senator Andrews, I think that honestly, the more representation, the better from each of the colleges. If someone feels like they can at least give it an attempt, or make that attempt worth something to show that they kind of do care about where their college is going, or voicing their college's opinions on to our student body's government, then I think that they should be allowed to.
Senator Scott.
Senator Scott here. I know you were talking about like previous track record with him and everything, but we do also have our judicial board if the same should happen again. So I think even if there is that change of heart, it'd be good to have someone on campus for there, and say he doesn't, then Soren's right there. So.
Yes. Yep. Senator Okafor.
Senator Okafor, also feel he is a representation of student government, and the representation he was putting out to other students was a negative representation. So that also adds to his character. Sometimes I feel like representation does matter, and I feel like Senator Kirby is doing all she can, and I feel it's as though our job to reach out to pharmacy students as well and have them come over here and fill the pharmacy position.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Senator Barnes.
Senator White here. So regarding his character, did he have some kind of, did our judicial board already have some issues with him? Was anything filed? Do we have proof of anything? Because I don't know him.
No. So as of last year, no. So he hasn't had anything so far, but
Senator Page, I believe should any issues arise, they will be handled by the judicial board, and I motion to vote on his appointment.
okay. So all those in favor of Precious becoming a Fish College of Pharmacy senator, please raise your hand. All those opposed to Senator or Precious becoming a Fish College of Pharmacy, please raise your hand. Okay. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. I am seeing that he is voted into the senator position for Fish College of Pharmacy. Please, once again, even though he's on Zoom, we can clap when he is admitted. Congratulations, Precious. You have been voted into the Senate as a Fish College of Pharmacy senator.
Thank you all.
Okay, So moving on, we will hold a student body at large senior special election. I would like to welcome Daniel. How do you say your last name? Yezik up to the front.
Good evening, everyone. Daniel Yezik. I'm actually a student in the College of Business, the BAAS program, Business Occupations. I have been here at UT Tyler for just a little over a year now, but off campus and remote. Did not understand exactly how a lot of the different organizations worked until a little bit more recently. So I actually started and was recently over the summer, actually took over as president for NSLS. And it's been a great opportunity. Now, representing our seniors, okay? So what are seniors interested in? Graduating, okay? So yes, of course, but what can we still do to be engaged? I'm a senior myself, but also plan to continue into the MBA program also. So how can we bring all of that together, represent that particular student body, and continue what we've started? Maybe we're not finishing just yet. So like to represent for the seniors here at the college. Should you agree?
Questions? Okay, we will have discussion and then we will invite you back in once we have voted. Thank you so much. I was waiting. Okay, anything to add to the discussion? Questions, comments, concerns? Yes. Simple. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I'm sorry, but I'm just confused. Who is that?
He is a senior in the College of Business. He is wanting to represent the senior, the student body at large senior seat.
So confused.
You're
I
fine.
thought this whole time he was a staff member.
No,
And-
no, he is a student.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Any other questions?
Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Oh, so go ahead. You can motion. Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Please clap when he enters. Congratulations, Senator Yezik. You have been elected to the student body at large senior seat. Okay, I entertain a motion to close Senator special elections. Does anyone have anything to add for new business? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close new business. Josh, advisor comments?
All right, so can y'all, oh, no, okay, is it going through?
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's just quiet.
Overall, good meeting, a lot of debate, which is good. I love hearing some of the great comments that are talking about, everything shouldn't be just super easy and moving on. So you're actually taking time and discussing things that are important. And so overall, good meeting. I want to compliment the provost. You know, sometimes things like parking doesn't change overnight. And so it's super awesome that student government continues to work on that. It's, that I remember last fall, that student government was focused on that. And it takes time to implement some of those changes and to see things that are working or not working. But leadership still remains committed to try to make things as best as they can. I don't think I've ever heard of an institution that has perfect parking. And so it's always going to be a challenge, but they're doing their best to be creative and to be cost effective. And so something balancing the course load is a pretty good idea. So it's cool to see that go into place. So overall, continue, and y'all hear me talk about it every week. And so it makes my heart happy to see Judicial Board coming together fully, Senate positions filling up. And so continue to strive for a full Senate, not just for the main campus, but for all of our distance campuses as well. And then other than that, midnight breakfast, y'all hit a home run. It still remains one of the largest student-led events on campus. So we are estimating over 900 at this point. So kudos to y'all for that. And so looking forward to the spring.
Thank you, Josh. We appreciate the feedback. Okay, moving on to announcements. I just wanted to give a quick thank you to everyone for all your help with Midnight Breakfast. Y'all really are the backbone to making Midnight Breakfast a success. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we've done and how well it came together. And everyone was really, really happy and excited to see you all and to see faculty and staff serve. I did drop off thank you notes on behalf of SGA to the faculty and staff who served. So they really appreciated that. They all said, bravo, great job. And they really loved helping out, and they look forward to hopefully helping out next semester as well. So that's all the announcements that I have. Next week, we will have an SGA meeting, General Assembly next week. I know it is election day, so please vote beforehand. Go out and vote. Your vote is important, and I really recommend that you all do. But that's all I have. So I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Thank you, guys.